The next question is for everybody. Last winter, Tom Trail and Shirley Ringo split their votes on the Idaho Firearms Freedom Act, which exempts guns and ammunition manufactured in Idaho from all federal regulations. If you were there, how did you vote and why? If you were not there, how would you have voted and why? And this person says thank you, which is very nice. And we begin with Judy Brown.
If I had been in the legislature, I would have voted no on the Idaho Firearms Freedom Act. I think our Second Amendment rights are very, very important. However, I do not think that the Second Amendment was ever meant to pertain to criminals. And I think federal regulations on the books for very minimal requirements for background checks are entirely reasonable and should be enforced better. I think that we need to be concerned about public safety as well as about Second Amendment rights. So I would definitely have voted no.
Dan Schmidt.
This is one of those fringe issues that I thought our legislature really didn't need to be spending its time on. I would have voted no.
Gresham Bauma.
I would have voted yes, and I think that's consistent with Idaho's constitution, which clearly indicates that there shall be no infringement on the rights of Idaho's people to keep and own firearms. Infringements would include prohibitive taxation on ammunition and anything coming from the federal level that makes it more and more difficult for the average citizen to keep and own a firearm. I think it's very important to preserve our constitutional rights, whether it's Idaho's or the Constitution of the United States.
Shirley Ringo. Thank you again for passing that.
Well, I did vote no on that one. I considered it to be really a waste of time. From a practical matter, it's highly unlikely that a firearm would be manufactured with at least some part of it being used that came from outside the state. But I just think it's ridiculous to think of not having those regulations on firearms. And further, our Attorney General said there were parts of that that were likely unconstitutional. So that was another reason that I voted against it.
Ike Young.
I would have voted yes. The Idaho State Constitution states that the right to keep and bear an arm shall not be abridged. The United States Constitution says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. We're all educated individuals at this table, and I think we all know what abridged or infringe mean. Furthermore, if you look at case study, you will find that people that have firearms in their homes are least likely to be predatorized upon by predators than people that do not. Furthermore, an armed society is a polite society. That's what our founding fathers believed. That's what I believe.
Tom Trail.
I joined, this was a straight party line vote, and I voted with the majority on this. Again, in terms of the Idaho Constitution and also the Second Amendment. It may be viewed as a fringe. It depends, of course, the eye of the beholder. But we certainly could have spent more time on other issues. There was not all that much debate on it, and I think that probably the long-term consequences of it will be fairly minimal. But there was discussion also in terms of the Commerce Clause on this particular one, and that if we'd voted against it, it would have been in violation. Again, states' rights became a very important issue on this subject.